welcome to the All Need Music Podcast. I'm Matt,
See,
and we are here with Pete from Coyote Crossings Resort. How's it going, Pete?
Great. Thanks for having me.
No, our pleasure. Our pleasure.
absolutely.
So, kind of to get things started, let's talk a little bit about the history of Coyote Crossings Resort and kind of how things got started there, and then how it turned into a music venue.
Okay. Well, things started at Coyote a little even before my wife and I owned it. Around 2000, the place was built, and by about 2002, it was finished, all the cabins and bar and restaurant. And around 2005, the people that started the Hoxseyville Music Festival, which is more of a bluegrass jam band type festival, they are right in our neighborhood, and they got the original owners to get involved in some open mics in the bar, and then they actually started hosting the Hoxseyville Music Festival on the Coyote grounds, I think, again, around 2005. And my wife and I bought Coyote in 2010 and immediately kind of dove into the music for the love of it as much as anything. We don't perform ourselves, but we really love live music.
Yeah.
And so we jumped into hosting indoor music primarily with a lot of these Hoxseyville network of musicians that are crazy talented and have toured all over the world. Some of them
Absolutely
now live actually in Spain. But so that was kind of the baby steps that we took to get into promoting live music. And again, my wife and I just have a real innate love for it. And so we started doing more outside during the summer months, some open mics, and then a few little larger shows with some regional people.
Yep.
And around 2019-20, before COVID, I had the audacity and maybe foresight to build a state-of-the-art outdoor stage outside of our restaurant. And
probably had to question that big time in 2020.
Well, we did. It was right before COVID when it kind of got done. And we were one of the only places then that could do anything outside because we had the space, and people really embraced the idea of being able to do something, quote unquote, safely at that time. And it just kind of morphed from there. And we, right off the bat, looked at doing a couple of national shows out of maybe 10 to 15 cover charge shows a summer. And then we just kind of grew from there. And the last 5 years have been pretty strong for outdoor live music for us. And I have an affinity kind of for the outlaw independent country sounds, as well as bluegrass and Americana and some different things. But the indie country thing has been good for us. And it also happens to be something that my wife and my son and I listen to a lot. So that's kind of what's gotten us to this point. And as you alluded to, we sold the resort recently to a young couple, but my wife and I started a company, Coyote Productions, and we're going to continue to produce the music for this young couple that's now owning the place, and hopefully we can continue that. Hopefully.
Okay.
So,
All right.
And I'm just curious. I don't know how we weren't friends before now, because Jesse and I are
outlaw country and independence. Like you're speaking our language,
and we love to promote those guys and gals. And it's unfortunate for as many shows as we go to a year that I didn't even know about you guys until last year was like the first time you guys popped on my radar. And it was like, I looked and I'm like, well, this isn't brand new. How in the hell have I missed this? And Jesse and I started talking about it, last year, and I'm like, we gotta to figure out something here and get with these guys and talk to them about what they're doing, because it is, a vast majority of the podcasts we do, either highlighting artists or doing artist interviews, are in that realm, right? They're independent. A lot of them are outlaw, but certainly, the bluegrass is right up our alley. And, so it was like, man, we should have been hanging out with these guys a long time ago. We've missed some damn good shows in this area.
Yeah, well, we wish we would have crossed paths sooner as well, but we're glad to have us on your radar now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's funny because you guys are right out by Cabernet there, west of Cadillac, and I went to college at CMU, and a couple of my roommates were from Baldwin area, and they actually got me to go up to Cabernet, and so we've been going up to Cabernet skiing and snowboarding for, gosh, as long as I can remember. And I go visit my buddies in Baldwin, and like Matt was saying, when we found out that there was a place right out there, and I was like, and they do music there? Like, how the heck did we never
not just music, but damn good music too.
Yeah, good music, right. And so that's where we were like, okay, we got to learn more. We got to make it. Unfortunately, we haven't made it to a show yet, but we are definitely planning on coming to them and attending and checking out, what you guys got going on there. So definitely excited. And it was actually some of the folks over at the venue in Cadillac there that recommended you guys and let us know about you. So really cool that you guys, even you're close to each other, but you're can promote each other and stuff like that.
Yeah, and it's been really cool to see that venue develop as well, because we were kind of the only ones doing any live music around Cadillac when we got into it, and it is kind of morphed into a few other places now doing live music around us. But as you mentioned about Cabernet, that is a resort that's near and dear to our heart. I vacationed up in this area my entire life, so I knew about Cabernet since I was three years old, and that's how we found out about Coyote being for sale, and moved my family and my children at the time were 8th grade and 6th grade in 2010, and we moved the family up here from Central Indiana, and haven't looked back, and really enjoy it. And both of our kids have found their spouses in the Cadillac, Northern Michigan area, so that's pretty cool too.
Good deal. Did you guys have like a background in restaurant, resort, music, anything of that nature?
No, kind of crazy. No, I was in industrial automation sales for 21 years in Indiana, and my wife had a few independent stay at home type jobs that she could help with raising the kids, and we both just had an affinity for Northern Michigan our whole lives. Her family vacationed in Leelanau County, my family in Wexford, and we just wanted to find an excuse to move to Northern Michigan. And but no, we had no background in the resort business at all, and certainly not in the music production business. But it was a learning curve, but has been a great blessing to our lives, and we are sure happy we got involved with both the resort and live music. So,
yeah, good deal. I'm actually from Leelanau County myself. Now I live in Mount Pleasant now, but Leelanau County is where I grew up. So
we vacation up around the Leland Glen Arbor area.
Absolutely.
The old Sugarloaf ski area near there. So, yeah,
sweet. So, on the resort side, because obviously I don't want to like glaze over that, but we don't want to. It's a music podcast, so we want to definitely dig into the music a lot deeper. But the resort itself has 10 cabins. Those are year round that people can come and stay there.
Yes, very much so. We were predominantly a winter business when we bought it because of Cabernet's proximity and snowmobile trails. And with the uncertain winters, we were like, this isn't going to cut it for us. And so that was a big motivation with getting into the music. And then ORVs and other recreational avenues have taken hold in the area, and we're very much a year-round business. And we do have 10 kind of high-end 2-bedroom cottages on the property. Our property is about 50 acres. And then we also have an apartment above the restaurant that generally doubles as the green room and the place for bands to stay up above
Okay.
the bar itself. And if they need additional lodging, we usually add another cabin to it. But that's been a really cool avenue for the musicians, because so many of these guys are, grinding, as you know,
Yeah.
um, out in the concrete jungles and staying in shitty hotels. And to be able to come up and be in the middle of the Manistee National Forest and feel like almost like home to a lot of them, because a lot of them are from southern rural towns. An awful lot of our guests or artists are, Tennessee, Arkansas, Alabama, Texas. I mean, and they really appreciate the rural setting that we have there, and plus our cabins are super pretty sweet. So they respect that quite a bit.
And before this, I got on and looked at the menu. It looks like there's damn good food too.
Yeah, we've tried to pride ourselves as being, kind of upscale bar menu. We hired a female chef I think it was about 8 years ago. She was with us for about 6 years, and moved back to Louisville, her hometown, about a year ago. And I was fortunate enough to find a chef. Just happened to be sitting next to a guy at a bar, and we started talking, and he has really even taken things to another level with our food offering, and he's got a real niche in the smoked foods as well. So for concerts this year, we're going to be offering some cool new smoked items as well. And he and the new owners, Kaylin and Carson Kynell, have again just really taken our food to another level, and it's a pretty special place out in the sticks in northern Michigan. So.
Awesome.
So they're gonna appreciate the smoked barbecue coming from the south even more. So they got good cabins, they got good place to play music out in the middle of nowhere, and smoked food. I'm ready to move in myself.
So, and music wise, and that's where we really want to dig in is, a lot of times when you get more rural places, it's tougher to get some names, to travel that far and still offer tickets at a price that locals really want to pay, right? And I understand that struggle. I've seen it over the years, even with our local fair, when they have a concert and people are complaining about the price. Now, Jesse and I are the type that we're actually going to Nashville this week on Friday for a show on Saturday and coming back on Sunday. Not everybody does that, right? So a lot of people, they're looking for these local shows, and
I don't know how I got roped into it.
Who are you going to see?
We're going to a record release party for Kentucky Music Mafia and a bunch of their friends that they invited us to. So we're going to catch another couple shows while we're down there, and hopefully record with a couple of artists while we're in town as well, to get a couple extra podcasts done. But
Nice.
I did that back in November, got caught in a snowstorm on the way back and missed another show. But we had gone to Waylon Hannell's record release party, left from there, my wife and I and our daughter, and we drove to Nashville for the Opry's 100th anniversary show. Turned around, got up in the morning, and left to come back because Waylon was playing at Odawa Casino, and we were going to go to that, and we never made it. We got caught in an ice and snowstorm in Ohio, and missed out trying to avoid some bad snow through Indiana and southern Michigan, and we got it worse in Ohio than if we would have gone the normal way.
You
Right. Yeah. As far as getting some of these artists and trying to see, or obviously make it affordable to get people there was certainly a big worry for us initially when we started talking to some bigger names. But I think the biggest advantage initially to us landing them is having a relationship with a lot of businesses in our local community. And my insurance agent suggested that he wanted to sponsor our stage,
Oh, nice.
and a light went off, and I thought, well, shit, I'm missing out on sponsors.
Yeah.
So we had never done anything sponsorship wise, until about 5 years ago. And when we built that stage, then we dove into that, and that's just been a godsend for helping subsidize the risk that we take. We're a total outdoor venue with no covering to speak of, and if we have 300-400 people there with no covering, and they're gonna bail if there's lightning or whatever, we're gonna call the show with something like that. We still got to pay these bands,
Right.
and so, anyways, that has been a huge benefit is the sponsor side of things. But I've also been pleasantly surprised at, once you get in with some of the booking agencies, how approachable some of these people that I didn't think we could ever get were at least entertaining offers to us. And sometimes they throw a crazy number at us, and we're like, yeah, you're out of our league if that's what you're getting right now. And but now I'm also known enough that we get random emails from booking companies saying, hey, here's a bunch of routing availabilities. People are coming through your neck of the woods these times. Would you consider them? I typically have never had much luck in being a routing show, because we're so far off the beaten path of a normal transportation route. Typically I'm the first one, and everybody else probably gets a better deal.
Yeah.
Because they're like, well, we're driving all the way to northern Michigan, we're going to go through Chicago or Kalamazoo or Detroit or wherever, and some of those then get a better opportunity, because we're pretty much, once they get up here, they're turning around and going back south. So but it's, again, just kind of jumped in, going after some people that I listen to, and primarily on outlaw country radio, on Sirius XM radio, and through Spotify channels that different people show up in a Spotify group, and all of a sudden you're like, damn, they're pretty good. I wonder if we might be able to get them. That's
right. Yeah.
Kind of how it goes.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
When you guys have artists there, I don't know if I thought I heard you say it. Do you guys put them up then in like the cabin or something like that?
Yeah, pretty much always, unless it's a turn and burn and they're heading
jumping on
somewhere quick to get south and out of the area. But almost 90% of them are staying the night and really want to do that, especially the ones that have been here before.
Right.
They're like, we want to stay there. We know that Pete and Julie take good care of them, and we do try to spoil them early on. My wife always kind of questioned why I was always so nice or accommodating, and I wasn't just kissing ass per se, but I wanted it to be an experience that they talked about to other musicians.
Right.
And it has paid dividends in that regard. So.
Right. If somebody's down in Nashville and they say, hey, I heard you played this Coyote Crossings, like, how was it? I'm thinking about going up there. And if they can say nothing but good things and talk about that hospitality, that's Southern hospitality. They always talk about it. So if we can do Northern Michigan hospitality and make them feel right at home, and I guarantee, I know that a lot of those artists, because we've spoke with many up and coming artists. Just last year we went to in Boyne City, Taylor Austin Dye and Brian Martin, And we were talking with Taylor Austin Dye afterwards, and we're like, "Hey, where they putting you guys up?" And they're like, they ain't putting us anywhere. We had to book our own
Hotel.
motel down the road, and they're like, and it was this real scurvy place that they were like, we don't know if it's good or not, but it was in our budget. And so we thought that was kind of weird that, they didn't put them up and stuff. And so, for you guys to do that, I guarantee a lot of those artists super appreciate something like that. So,
And most of our contracts require lodging typically, but when you say it's on-site lodging, they love that idea that because they're tired, they want to maybe have a beer with you and BS, and we got usually a bonfire going on, in our corral area that they think is cool, and before you know it, these guys that we're just entertaining 300 or 400 people are sitting around a fire and enjoying just hanging out and relaxing for an hour or two after a show.
They have bonfires, Matt. I'm moving in. I'm telling you. I'm going to start broadcasting from Coyote Crossing. Yep.
We would love to have that.
So that's what I was going to ask. The other cabins, do you guys rent those out on show nights to other people, or is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not always available to fans, but oftentimes if people book ahead of time early enough, fans will take the remaining cabins. But if it's a busy summer tourist weekend, it really doesn't matter, and it's just kind of a bonus then for those cabin guests because they can literally sit on their front porch of the cabin and hear the show. So
I was just thinking, if you come there and have a few cocktails at a show and then you don't want to drive home, it's an option to stay there and hang out and not have to go anywhere.
For sure. And some people have asked to bring campers, and if we're full, we'll let some people camp on our grounds for a fee. But we're trying not to be a campground at this time, at this stage. But there are several campgrounds within just a few miles of our place, so that's usually a pretty good option for people that have traveled a good distance. So
yeah.
Actually, my next question is with the resort. Like I said, we're unfamiliar with being there. I didn't know if you had campground or something on the 50 acres that people could do that. But if there's stuff close, then and I know Cadillac's not. What are you guys, like 12 miles from 115 in Cadillac right there?
Yep. Exactly.
So yeah, that's not too far. There's lots of lodging right there. That's not too far.
Cabernet has weddings almost all summer long, so they don't usually have any availability there. But there are several in West Cadillac, and campgrounds are, like I said, numerous around us.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about the artists that you've had there. I would say, I think some people might be surprised. You've had names like Billy Strings.
I'm surprised.
And Warren Treaty, Ward Davis. Like it's not. Sometimes when you say big names and people are like, well, big names to who, right? And I know from being an independent guy myself, I love those kind of artists, and I'm like, oh, you got to check them out. They're killing it, and they're like, I've never even heard of them. And it's like, well, then you're missing out. Go listen to them now. Right. But those are names that I think that people certainly know, regardless of whether they're kind of indie fans or outlaw fans. I mean, they've got pretty mainstream names, with some of these guys and whatnot that you've had play there already.
Yeah. It's kind of surreal at times to pinch yourself and realize some of the quality that we've had here. The Hoxeyville Music Festival that I alluded to earlier was a lot of fun for us to partake in as fans, but then we kind of got in with the local music community that way, and that's where I first witnessed Billy Strings was playing at Hoxeyville, and I quickly said, hey, let's see if we can get Billy in the bar. And at that time he was touring with a mandolin guy, Don Julin, and an upright bass guy named Kevin Gills, I think is his name, out of Traverse City. And so we had that 3-piece Billy Strings band in our bar, I think twice inside and once outside. And the first time was Billy for $750.
Good luck with that now, huh?
Yeah. And now it's about 750 with several zeros behind it.
Right.
Yep. Billy, if you're watching
A
this, we're going to
Michigan
try
reunion
to do a
show
little
and bring
homecoming
your
for you.
dad
So
and some of
maybe
your
cut a
friends
deal
back.
and
But,
do like a reminiscence.
I don't know
tour
that
or
that'll
something.
ever happen.
Throwback
but,
pricing, yeah.
Mentioning some of the names, I haven't already tried a little bit in that area, but yeah. And then he played outside once, and we just had a tiny little triangular stage with a pop-up tent, and he played with his dad, who he then later cut a record with after he became famous, and that was really cool. So my angle was, let's have a kind of one of the weird highlights, I guess, of my short musical life and promoting was we had Brent Cobb playing at Coyote. Brent's tour bus was pulling into our property at the same time Billy Strings and his wife were leaving the property because they just stayed with us for a wedding anniversary of theirs.
Oh,
So,
nice.
I just thought to myself, how cool is it to have Brent Cobb and
Right.
and Billy Strings at your place at the same time. And
right.
they didn't end up they knew each other, but Brent was sleeping in the bus. He'd just gotten to town and Billy was on his way out. So it was just kind of one of those pinch me moments that was pretty cool. And we were fortunate enough, back on the Billy topic, to host his entire wedding party at Coyote. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So they got married at the Hoxeyville music site, which is 5 miles from us. And we hosted Billy's entire wedding party. We had 4 tour buses parked on the property, security blocking the whole place from the outside public. And we had an entire weekend with Billy and his family, and my wife and I were fortunate enough to go to the wedding as well.
Oh, so that's awesome. Yeah.
That was really neat. We did the rehearsal dinner, and Les Claypool from Primus was hanging out with us, and his wedding reception band, which I think the pictures have been out for years. I think it's okay for me to mention, but it was Les Claypool, Bob Weir from the Grateful Dead, and Trey Anastasio from Fish.
Jesus.
And I think Widespread Panic's drummer, I think, was who the drummer was, and Billy was the opening band at his own reception. It's pretty cool. Only about 200 people there, so it was neat.
That's insane.
But, I mean, he bought a lot of stuff, but that right there kind of
trumps most people's stories.
Yeah, most people can't brag that good. That's pretty crazy right there. That's a lineup in its own. That's pretty awesome.
It was crazy to see them all on the same stage in a tent with 150, 200 people.
That's awesome. Oh my gosh.
Damn.
And the Green Sky Bluegrass Band was all there, and we know them, and they were standing beside us, and they're like, "Do you realize what you're watching right now?"
Right. Yeah.
I know. I'm just fortunate to be here taking it in.
Right. Wow. Pinch me. This ain't real.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
Well, with the outdoor, real quick, do you guys still do indoor concerts as well, or is it mostly outdoor?
It's mostly all outdoor now. Okay. Our restaurant has gotten so busy that it's hard to take tables out of circulation for the dinner crowds. But we did do a couple of shows this winter, and it was more because I've got a relationship with a couple of national guys, and one of which I think you should probably have on your show as well. But Kendall Marvel is one of the coolest guys that I've gotten to know in the industry, and he is the consummate singer-songwriter that a dozen or more of his songs, but you don't maybe know him. Yeah. And the guy's got amazing pipes. He's, very close friends. I think he told us that he wrote 60 songs for Chris Stapleton. He's written some of Jamie Johnson's biggest hits. I mean, his #1 Grammy Award winning hit when he first moved to Nashville was a Gary Allan song that I think went very high, if not top of the charts. So, but anyways, gotten to know him from playing at our venue for a few years, and he now likes to bring his family up to Michigan, and especially was into getting them to experience snowmobiling and skiing and some winter things. So he and I worked it out, and he came and just did 2 solo nights in our bar in February, and brought his couple of his kids and their spouses and his wife and granddaughter, and they come up for 3 or 4 days, and I take them snowmobiling and hang out at Cabernet, and they just think it's the neatest thing. And they've done it 2 years in a row to the tune that this year they were like, maybe we should be buying some property in Michigan, that they enjoyed it that much.
Well, what I need to do is I need to give you my cell phone number, and I didn't see those winter shows, but you have to text me, because sometimes Facebook sucks at giving you the stuff in your feed to know that's going on, because I would have gone there in February in a heartbeat. But let's talk about Kendall Marvel for a minute, because I'm a songwriter junkie. I dig into that stuff way more than Jesse does. Like I'm
a Johnson junkie, so he knows exactly.
I'm also
a Gary motherfucking Allen guy.
Yep.
He knows exactly who that is. That's why I said, I was like, Matt, if you would be more of a country boy and would take up like snowmobiling and outdoor stuff in the winter, right, like you'd fit right in here.
Yes. Yep. So that show in particular, and you guys have a great lineup. I'm not taking anything away from the lineup at all, but that show, holy shit. All right. Like, you got Kendall Marvel, you've got Joe Stamband, who's great. You've got Ben Chapman, who's great, and Trey Penley, who's also great at one show. So super cool. And then you guys go and decide to inject it with like a double dose of steroids and have like a writer's round to begin it, which is like, holy hell, that is my love language there to a T, to have a writer's round with great artists and then another show following it with incredible artists. When I seen that, I was like off the charts excited for that night.
Well, I sure hope one or both of you could work it into your schedule to come down for that.
It's already on my calendar.
Okay, we really think it's going to be a special thing. It was, not to pat my own self on the back, but it was kind of my brainchild to do something like this. Kendall's daughter is his manager also, and she and I had some conversations initially about, could we do something like this? Wondered if we should do it on a bigger scale, just because Kendall knows a lot of people and really seems to enjoy his experience up here. And so we just thought we'd start it out at a little smaller scale, and do it right there on our property. And we're just offering about 40 of the VIP opportunity tickets.
That was going to be my next question, was how many of those are available?
So there's only going to be 40. We might up that if the demand is great enough, but they'll be, all 4 of the guys then will be in a back private room that we have on the property that we refer to as our hospitality room. Not necessarily for musicians, just as a hangout room that can handle, 30, 40 people or so. And so they're going to sit on bar stools, play a couple of their favorite songs, but interject,
the stories.
What was their inspiration for that? What are maybe their techniques for aspiring writers that don't have a clue about how to write like me? So we're hoping that it'll be a really, really cool, intimate experience there. And if it builds some momentum, I have some ideas of taking it to another level. But I really like keeping Kendall involved. One, he's just become a good friend and a really cool guy to kind of give me some feedback in the industry, but also he puts on a couple times a year in Nashville at the Basement East a thing called Kendall Marvel's Honky Tonk Experience. And so that went off in my head, and I'm like, okay, I want this to be a version of his Honky Tonk Experience, people are going to maybe recognize that follow him. And so that's where we came up with Kendall Marvel's Northwoods Honky Tonk Experience.
Yeah, I was
And
just gonna say Northwoods Honky Tonk. There you go.
yeah,
Yeah.
Just to show
so
you here, Pete. I don't know if I can get focused on this or not, but
okay,
maybe. I don't know.
Too
it's
blurry.
blurry to me. Yeah,
So this is in the calendar already. Matt already
I
put
see
it
it
in
now.
there. Coyote Crossings on July 11th. So
Yeah.
it looks like we're gonna be there when Matt puts something in my calendar. That we share a calendar here. That's something that we're super excited about. If I find something or he finds something, we just throw it in the calendar so we make sure that neither one of us like accidentally blocks that off. So
Yeah,
that looks like
yeah,
we already have that in the calendar. So
yeah.
yeah,
And
Yeah.
super exciting.
yeah,
When I
I
saw
was
it,
like, wait, when is this? Because this sounds really awesome. Like, I want to be there for this. And you're like,
well,
yeah, I want to go. And so I'm like looking in the calendar, like, oh, he already has it in there.
oh
So
yeah. So
well,
that's
please.
I've said that for a long time around here, and I go to Nashville several times a year. And one of my favorite things to do is to go to writers' rounds because I'm
yeah,
such a sucker for a songwriter's story, right? Like to me, when you hear the stories behind the songs and you get like a different feel and the music hits you different and it's not the loud like concert vibes. It's just I'm gonna
right,
sit here and soak all of this up and know that I'm getting something that most people that go and see someone live never get. You might
don't get
get
right.
you might get a little bit of that here and there during a live show, but nothing like a writer's round. And I know like Drew Hale's played there before and they've done some writers rounds in Traverse City that we've gone to, but it's not super common around here.
No,
No,
And so when I saw that and I was like,
oh
you
yeah,
know, everything else kind of, there's like Matt Mason's great, Wade Jennings great. We've met Wade before, puts on a phenomenal show, but I seen that and it was just like nothing else matters at this point. That's
right.
that's going on
That's
the
the one we're
calendar
going to for
first and
sure.
foremost. Like that, is right up my alley. That'll be I'm certain without having been there yet, I'm certain that will be one of the biggest highlights of my summer. I'm certain.
well, thanks,
Yeah,
thanks. Well, and we'd appreciate any good words about it throughout the music community as well, because I don't know how many people do quite understand what it is. And yeah, we are super excited about it. All three of the four guys have all played at Coyote. Ben, Joe, and Kendall have all played at Coyote
nice.
in the past, so I know all three of them. Trey Penley is kind of a protege, I guess, underneath Kendall, and Kendall's very much a mentor to Trey. And I think you're going to be hearing, maybe even on national country radio, believe it or not, they'll do something that isn't stupid and play some Trey Penley. From what I'm being told, he's releasing one or two songs in May or June that I think are going to be getting national play, and one of them Kendall wrote for him, and it's badass.
Nice.
So, keep an eye out for that. And Trey's voice, they compare to modern, like a Luke Combs, even though he certainly doesn't look like a Luke Combs. He's got that powerful of a voice. So I'm stoked to hear him and hear his stories, and then to have them all. The format for them all playing on the stage for the main concert. I think Kendall will be kind of the MC ringleader of the show, and he'll kick it off. And then each guy will come out and probably play, 3 songs or so of their own. And then they'll do what I call an all skate jam, hopefully at the end, where they maybe play some type of a cover they all enjoy or something. So,
Yeah.
but then the intimate thing early on, delving into the songwriter aspect, I think it's going to be special. So I'm glad you guys think it's cool, and
I hope it sells out, but
hopefully
my
it does.
big concern is so many people, and even Jesse's talked about it on the podcast before, until Jesse and I started doing the podcast, and we met at a music festival at Faster Horses, and, started hanging out all the time. And so many people have this idea, and Jesse's talked about being one of those people in years past where you hear a song on the radio, and the assumption is that that person wrote the song, not that there's like this whole backside of songwriting and hugely talented people that some of them want to perform, some of them don't. And I think a lot of people get used to radio music and then want to go to a show with some pyrotechnics and some backing tracks and all that other bullshit that I could care less about. And they've never gone to a writer's round, and never gone to like a smaller, even intimate acoustic show to realize, like, you want to go and feel music. Okay.
Yeah.
It ain't at a big stadium show. You're not feeling nothing other than the people spilling beer on you next to you. Go sit down and take it in, and you'll never look at music the same way again. So hopefully those kind of things take off to an extent. I don't want them to blow up and be too big, because I don't want people to ruin it for me. But sell out enough to where you're
at the table.
Yeah, I still want to see it at the table, but I want it to do well enough for you guys that you guys keep doing it, just not turn into something crazy where the bro country guys are out spilling beers on your back while you're trying to sit there and enjoy something.
Right. Well, it's a shame you didn't come to his 2 shows this winter, because they're amazing, and there's a likelihood he'll be back in the bar playing again sometime in coming winters. But his stories, and he's not an arrogant guy, but the names he just starts throwing out of some of his closest friends, and
he's written for some of the biggest heavy hitters in Nashville.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. The first actual writers round that I've ever went to, Matt took me to in Nashville 4 or 5 years ago, and it was actually Jamie Johnson, who Kendall has wrote for, and he brought this young up and coming artist on stage with him. You might have heard of her, Ella Langley. So I actually turned to those guys and I was like, that's the next Miranda Lambert right there. But like Matt said, that was the first. Oh, yeah. There it is.
That
guitar signed by them, all them up there. Yeah.
Rob Hatch, Jamie Johnson, Ella Langley, they auctioned it off. And there was a lot of hoity-toity folks there, which I am not. And I spent a lot more money than my wife was happy about to get that. But I said, ain't no way in hell anybody in here deserves that guitar more than me. So I refuse to let that go to the guy driving his Beamer or his Mercedes to this writer's round.
Yeah, that's very cool. Yeah.
First writers round that I'd ever been to. And like I said, it was Jamie Johnson, who I'm a huge fan of, and hearing his stories. And then, Ella Langley, obviously we've got to watch her grow as an artist. And like that, I was hooked. I was like, these are way better than going to these stadium shows and everything like that. So yeah, anytime we can get a writer's round, especially with people like that, like Kendall, of that caliber, and you're gonna hear some. We went to one with at the Opry last year, and got to hear just the stories you hear and the songs that, like he says, you said he throws around some names, and it's just like. And like myself, I will say that apparently I'm probably like the majority of people that assume that when somebody sings a song that's them, that's their experience, that's them, their personal, writing of it. And when you get to hear that, actually, no, it was this person's personal writing of it, and then get to hear them sing it. And a lot of times it sounds a little bit different than what you heard on the radio and I think that's the super cool part about it, is that it actually isn't Cody Johnson, singing this song. It's this guy singing the song, and this is what it meant to him, and I thought it meant this to Cody Johnson because that song meant this to me, and so
Right.
you kind of down the rabbit hole and spiral. So yeah, anytime you could do a writers round, especially in northern Michigan, I mean, kudos to you guys, and I am like pumped to go to that one.
Yeah, I had a lot of the same feelings, not really aware of the the songwriter influence
Yeah.
to all of these artists. And the other thing that I've become accustomed to is some of these songwriters are amazing musicians in their
Yeah.
own right too. I mean, they're not just like somebody like me that can't hold a tune that's just got the gift of writing. These guys have amazing talent.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you know, Ward Davis, for example, I mean, he's done so much for Cody Jinks,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
songs. And Ward, very few people, you know, nationally know who Ward is. He just had his first opportunity at the Opry a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I was gonna say within the last month he played the Opry for the first time.
It was so emotional for him, and we were fortunate enough to go to Nashville. His good friend, who has now become our good friend, Clint Park, who had been a long time guitarist, bassist with Ward's band, and Clint let us know that Ward was getting his first headline at the Ryman, and
Nice.
excuse me, Clint was going to open for him, and we ended up getting a posse from northern Michigan to
Awesome.
to go down there and see them. Excuse me, and we were basically front row at the Ryman, so
Nice.
that was really really cool. And Josh Malloy was also in that on that bill, and Josh has played at Coyote as well. So
Awesome.
excuse me, I need to take a quick drink.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, might as well too.
So, you know, I do want to, because I don't want to steal all the thunder for the you know, writers round and show with Kendall Marvel, because you do have some other great talent coming too, and I don't want to neglect them either, because there's some great music. So, you know, in addition, you guys do like an open mic every Thursday night for people, but you've got kind
And
of
that's in the bar, right? The open mic.
No,
That's outside too.
It's outside on
Okay.
our main stage every Thursday. We are fortunate enough to have a close friend and musician slash sound tech named Zach Bunce. You may have heard Zach playing around Traverse City or Northern Michigan. He is amazing talent, and he hosts our open mic for us. So anytime, he kind of kicks it off and then closes it. But if we're ever slow with musicians, Zach's an amazing musician in his own right, and he's in a band called 1,000 Watt Prophets.
Yeah.
If you've ever heard of them, out of Traverse.
Yep.
His also has some pretty good lineage in his family. His sister is Rachel Davis, who is a national touring folk artist who lives in Nashville, and her husband is Dominic Davis, who is the bass player for Jack White.
Okay, I did not know that.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
Dang.
and yeah, Rachel and her brother Zach that hosts for us are from Cadillac, and Jack's bass player Dom is from the Detroit area, and he and Jack White grew up together in Detroit.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
yeah.
Look at all those connections. Everybody's just intermingled.
It is crazy, and I keep going back to the Hoxeyville Music Festival connection, and that's where a lot of those people all, you know, came into our lives is through that festival and that network of Northern Michigan musicians.
Yeah. Well, and there's incredible talent, you know, in Michigan throughout the state for sure, that I think sometimes gets overlooked. You know, always Detroit was kind of Motown, but you don't think of Michigan as being like a big music state. I don't think nationally people think of Michigan as being like this big mecca of music, and there's incredible talent that comes from the state.
Sure.
There is. And I think it maybe is, like you say, it's not maybe thought so much about Motown anymore, but you know, Jack White obviously is a huge name. Billy Strings is a huge name. And and Warren Treaty are
Yeah.
certainly uh, put the state on the map as well. And that was another example. We heard them at it was the Hoxeyville grounds, but they Green Sky Bluegrass put on a festival for 1 or 2 years, and it was called Camp Green Sky, and they brought in huge national acts real near our property, and Warren Treaty was one of them. And my wife and I both looked at each other watching that set and said, "Man, if we could ever get them at Coyote, that would be a dream." And somehow it came together, and it was it was touchy at the last minute because it was during the forest fires that were so bad. Was that 2 years ago, I think?
Yeah.
And they had played during the day in Ann Arbor at some kind of a street festival, and were on their way up to Coyote. And I get a call from an agent in Nashville that says, "I don't think I want them to play because of the fires. There's blah 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 going on." And Nashville was terrible, and I'm like, "Well, for starters, we're not Nashville.
Yeah.
Not Nashville. Excuse me, Ann Arbor." They said Ann Arbor, the smoke was terrible and the heat. And I said, "Well, once you get up here, it's going to be fine by 8, 9 o'clock. Don't worry about it." And they're like, "Well, we're coming up, but we don't think we're going to play." And oh man, it was our biggest event at that time that we'd ever put on. And my wife was saying some words that I don't often hear come out of her mouth. And she was frustrated beyond belief, and I just kind of put my salesman's cap on and just totally talked them off the ledge when they got there, and said what a great experience this will be. And sure enough, at 7:30 at night, the any kind of smog had totally lifted, and the air quality numbers were about perfect. And the show happened on a Thursday night in northern Michigan, and it was
northern Michigan air quality for you right there. Lots of trees up here.
Yeah,
not like in Ann Arbor.
Exactly. So that was a special night to have them at our place.
Awesome.
So.
Well, and I know, so you guys have Wade Jennings, coming, and I'm starting to think that Way might like Michigan a lot more than what he says, because he keeps coming back and doing a lot of shows in Michigan. So I think he's finding that Michigan people are his people.
Yeah, I think so too. I think he's playing at the venue this week, isn't he?
He is Friday night, and then in the Thumb on Saturday. And then he's back with you guys, and then he's in Bel Air in September.
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. This weekend, he does the venue, and then he plays a show with Waylon in the Thumb.
Okay, right.
But it's not like he's looping back around to hit Coyote and then up there. Like, he's leaving, doing a bunch of other stuff, coming back, leaving, and then coming back. So, yeah, I think he likes Michigan way more than he let on last time. I mean, last time we seen him in the UP, and I was like, I understand if you don't want to, come back to this biker.
Well, his agent reached out to me, Tammy, who I think he's dearly close with, almost like a mom or a sister to him.
Yeah.
And she reached out, and because of our radius clause, that's also one reason that we're not doing it too close to the venue. One is that we try to protect ourselves 30 days prior or post.
Yep.
We do about 120-mile radius, but anyways, we're super excited to have Way, and I'll be honest, I'm equally excited to have Justin Jensen, who's with him. I don't know if you guys have listened to him much, but
I've followed Justin for about 2.5 years now.
He's got an amazing voice, and I'm super stoked. So it's going to be a double show. It's not going to be just an opening. I think we're going to give a full hour and a half to both of them.
Oh, even better.
So that'll be cool. And
I've many people showing up at the start of the show instead of filtering in towards the end. Yep. So
exactly.
Now,
exactly.
Real quick, Pete, I don't know if I asked this question before or if we covered it. What is the capacity for the outdoor venue as far as how many people and how many tickets do you guys sell for that?
Yeah, our capacity we say is about 350.
Okay.
I think we could probably max at about 400, but we sell sponsor packages that include some tickets. So
Sure.
I try to not sell more than 350 because there could be 50 sponsor tickets being used on a
Right.
given night.
Gotcha.
So 350 to 400 is our max, and we have a full service outside bar and what we call a food shack, which is basically a permanent food truck
Okay.
Okay.
for outdoor food offerings. And then we have VIP seating sections where people can also rent picnic tables to get waitress service and
Nice.
some upright chairs. In the bigger shows, we don't allow people to bring their own chairs.
Okay.
Uh, so if people are concerned about sitting, we do offer some upright chairs for rent, and those are on the VIP deck. That
Okay.
is the only area that gets waitress service at it.
Okay.
So,
Nice. Yeah,
yeah,
that's always a positive to have that to accommodate people that want to have a seat, or
sure.
actually I'm thinking about a picnic table with some waitress service now.
Yeah, yeah. I think you would appreciate that. And if people have disabilities or what have you, we're always trying to be accommodating to allow people to bring chairs in a limited capacity. But I don't, I really don't like offering that to everyone that buys a ticket any
Sure.
longer, because it just takes up too much space, and then
Right.
I gotta be the police for chairs, which is no
Right.
fun.
Or somebody brings the nice small chairs, but then somebody brings the Mac Daddy one that takes up 3 spots, like Matt. His chair is pretty large. So
Exactly.
you said earlier that the restaurant does get pretty busy all the time. So like say I was to come to a show and I wanted to get food beforehand, is the restaurant a viable option, or does it get pretty busy and I'm better off hitting the food truck out in the outdoors?
That's a great question. I don't know if somebody put you up to that or not, but it is uh,
I'm
it
always
is
thinking
often.
about I'm always thinking about some good barbecue before I see a show,
Yeah,
and get a little base before I start pounding the whiskey. So
yeah, it is a struggle sometimes because our restaurant only holds about 80 people.
okay.
Okay.
So
Okay.
we do have an awful lot of people that come early, come at 5 o'clock. Doors don't open till 6, and they're eating, and then they're waiting, and it's packed. And if they would have just come in at 6, they probably would have had a better experience eating outside.
Okay.
And we don't have the same menu outside that we have in, and people love our food, so we appreciate the love, but it is a struggle
Sure.
to get 200 or 300 people fed right before the show
Oh
indoors.
yeah.
So we really like to encourage people to utilize the outdoor
Outdoors. Okay.
food and drink, and we try to have some cool menu items there, so it's not just chicken tenders and fries. So
Sure. Sure.
there's some good options for sure.
Okay.
Nice.
All right.
So some of the other artists that you
So
guys
Matt,
have,
we got to go for lunch, get some smoked barbecue in the bar, start our pre-drinking,
yep,
and
Yeah.
then wait
Be
for the
ready for
artists, and
6.
then Matt
And
likes
if
to go and stock the tour buses, so he'll wait for the tour buses to come in.
I've never.
And if you're coming for the singer-songwriter thing, everything's going to start off earlier for the people going for the intimate side of that. So
Sure.
literally coming for a late lunch, and then that'll kick off at, I think, 5 o'clock or something like that. Might be a good option if you guys are in fact going to come to that. So.
Yeah,
Can we
absolutely.
tailgate around like 11 a.m. in the parking lot?
Jesse's going to
Wait
push
for-
his luck. He's going to be there at 6 a.m. when you
Wait
show
for
up.
the bar. Wait for the restaurant to open up.
The bar opens at
Lunch.
11. The bar
go.
opens at 11. So just come into the bar at 11 and get it going.
Here we go.
So some of the other artists playing, I don't want to leave any of them out. Some of them I didn't know, but I've been kind of digging in, anytime I hear of somebody playing, I at least want to check them out and hear what their sound is like. But you guys have the Adam Joint Band, which is a Michigan band, playing May 30th. Roosevelt Diggs on June 5th. June 13th, you're doing a Cadillac native showcase for local Cadillac musicians. Then, of course, June 26th, you got Wade Jennings and Justin Jensen. And then July 11th, the Kendall Marvel Northwoods Honky Tonk Experience, which is going to be off the charts. Then you got July 18th, the Wilder Blue.
Are you familiar with Wilder Blue?
I have heard them, not a ton, but when I seen it, I'm like, why does that sound familiar? And I actually follow them on social media, on Instagram. When I went and looked, that's where I go first, is our social media accounts, and like, why do I know that name? And I'm like, okay, well, I follow them
for 2 months now, or 2 years. Yeah.
Right.
We follow a lot of people. Anytime we hear something, we're like, hey, they sound pretty good. I'll follow them because later on I'm going to tell Matt about them. And then half the time I forget. And by the time I remember, he's like, we followed him for 2 years now.
Right.
That's why.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah, we're excited about that one too. That's going to be a big one. My wife and I went to Texas last year. I think similarly, we chase the music scene, and I think I'm wearing a shirt right now.
I love your shirt. I've been wanting to comment on that the whole time.
But we went there to see Wilder Blue open for Shane Smith and the Saints.
Ooh.
And I'm a big Shane Smith fan.
Hell yeah.
And that's where my wife and I kind of fell in love a little bit with the Wilder Blue, and reached out and were able to get them this year. And the guy with them is got some Northern Michigan ties, but a lot of people haven't heard from him because he lives in Idaho now. But his name's Ryan Curtis, and he has got a super cool kind of Americana raspy voice, little country, a little bit everything. And he's going to be opening for the Wilder Blue, so that is going to be a really cool show. Those are good ones
Pete?
too. But
you said Northern Michigan. Where's he from?
He's got ties right around us in Cadillac, but they could be
familiar.
Further, it could be further north where his roots are. But he reached out to me several years ago. Actually, we were gone one open mic, and everybody's calling me saying some dude just showed up at open mic and he is killing it. And
nice.
So we built a little rapport with him over the years, and I think this will be about his third or fourth year coming back to Coyote, and I wanted to get him opportunity on one of the bigger nights with Wilder Blue to open, so that some people could be aware of his talents.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, and then July 25th, you got Matt Mason, who's another name that I think that a lot of indie people for sure are familiar with. He may not have like this massive national kind of Luke Combs kind of following or something like that, but I think the people that follow him have been following him. I shared your guys' lineup with that. We've got a big group of friends that has like a Facebook group, and our buddy Dan, we call him Damn It Dan, right away he's like, no shit, Matt Mason, I've been following him for like 4 years. And it's like, yep. And he's like, how in the world? And I'm like, dude, their lineup is freaking solid. Like, even the ones that you haven't heard of, like the ones that I've checked out so far that I didn't know, I'm like, oh, damn.
Yeah. He's got such a cool story. And, he went through some substance stuff and has turned his life around, and heavily religious and such, which is wonderful for what it's done for him as well as lots of us. But he's been through some real tribulations and trials over his life, and he spills it out in his show, and it's half emotional, but man, his talent of songwriting. And my wife and I, when we were in Texas to to see Wilder Blue and Shane Smith, we also went to Fort Worth one night and saw Matt playing in a
Nice.
small venue in Fort Worth, and was just a really, really neat, neat experience. And he played Coyote last year, so we've had him
did
once.
he?
Yes.
What the heck? Why aren't we seeing this kind of stuff, Matt?
The algorithm wasn't showing us.
The
I'm
algorithm must not have been, or hopefully it wasn't you and your wife that were running the social medias. But I'm gonna have to fire your social media person.
No, that's a
don't worry.
thing.
We're gonna be definitely shouting you guys out and telling you about these concerts coming up, because apparently we've missed out on quite a bit, and we're not going to miss out on the new stuff coming, and hopefully none of our fans and subscribers miss out either, because there is a lot of people that are in the mid-Michigan area, kind of northern mid area. So,
well, and a lot of these guys have people that will travel to see them play too, you know.
Oh yeah.
And so, you know, our following has grown tremendously on Facebook this year, up to north of 75K now, kind of all over the country. And that's the thing when you've got when you've got guys like Kendall Marvel, that people know that name and they're like, I will go travel to see him. You know, I'm like that with people. Like, I'm trying to rally the troops.
Yeah, you're dragging me to Nashville this weekend.
Yeah, I'm trying to rally the troops to go to Kentucky to see Jamie Johnson, you know, in Kentucky. So I've got some venues. I've been to more shows than I can count anymore. And now, in addition to like my go-to for artists, my thing is I'm checking venues off of my bucket list that I want to go to. And
you better have Coyote Crossings on that bucket list.
You better get us on that bucket list.
Well, it's on mine. If it's not on his, it's on mine. So I'll be there for sure.
Right. Well,
6 a.m. in the parking lot.
Friday's payday, and I'll have my VIP ticket for July 11th on Friday without a doubt. So, especially knowing that there's only 40, I'm going to get it before they're gone, because I'd be pissed to wait around too long and then be like, wait a minute, they're sold out now? No, you see me in the back, like trying to look in the window. Like, what's this guy doing?
Yeah,
I'm gonna get me some sponsors to get my VIP ticket, and then they're gonna, pay me to go up there and interview some of these guys.
Perfect.
Yeah, good luck with that.
I'm taking a note out of Pete's book right here. He said sponsorship. Yeah. That's the ticket right there.
Call his insurance guy.
Yeah, give me his contact info.
I do want to go back though to the June 13th date. The Cadillac Natives show is a cool thing, and it was actually an inspiration of a buddy of ours who got married at Coyote, and he kind of wanted to do a 10-year anniversary party for his
cool.
wedding band. And so the band is Luke Winslow King, which Luke is originally from Cadillac. He lived in New Orleans for a while. He now resides in, I think, Barcelona, but he's in Spain.
Oh, wow.
He's a full-time resident in Spain, and he tours with a slide guitarist named Roberto Luti. And this guy, the two of them together, it is some badass kind of blues with a little New Orleans flair to it, and a little bit of folkiness to it. And they're going to start the night off. Then Rachel Davis, who is a national artist, who's the one that lives in Nashville, and her husband is Jack's bass player. She's going to kind of be the MC of the night, along with her brother Zach Bunce, who's our music director in-house. And then they're going to all kind of come together and do a collaborative jam all together as the night goes on. So these are some amazing, as you alluded to, some local musicians from, right here in Northern Michigan. So cool. Can't say enough about what a special night that'll be as well.
Yeah, well, I tell you,
find me an RV spot, because I'm just going to set up for the whole summer and just be there, so that way I can catch every one of these ones, and I'll have a little microphone around my neck, and I'll go talk to all these people and
they don't want you doing that, Jesse. He'll be standing out there in his bathrobe Hey, Pete, shitter's full.
I mean,
Yeah,
hey, but I'll shout them out on the podcast, and we'll get you more ticket sales. So I
we're
Right.
mean,
we're accustomed to having some characters around, Jesse, so I think we can handle it.
see, Matt, he wants me there.
Right.
Yeah.
So other than what we've already covered, we try and keep these under, an hour and a half mark. And I don't want to miss anything because we do kind of tend to go all over the place. And obviously, like, this is about highlighting what you guys are doing, because absolutely love it. And I know that without having been there. So I know I'm going to love it even more once I have. But I want to make
See
sure we
this
cover
place?
everything that you want to talk about too. If there's anything that we've missed, or anything that you feel like people really need to know, that we didn't touch on, I want to make sure we get to that as well.
Okay. Well, thank you, and yeah, and we're so appreciative that you reached out to us to do this, and we can't say enough about how quaint and cool the vibe is in this venue of ours. It just really exudes northern Michigan. Being right with the national forest around us, world renowned streams for fishing and canoeing and kayaking within 10 minutes of our property. It's just a really neat experience that I think too many people haven't heard about us and experienced it yet. We've done well with attendance, but we could always use a little bit more. And it's a tough time to promote live music anywhere in this country. As you've seen, a lot of festivals go under and such, and
Yeah.
and we're trying to bring far better than just average. Nothing against cover bands, but just I really applaud independent musicians that are out there busting their ass doing their thing and not um, just constantly singing covers. I love covers too, and there are always great versions of them out there. But I just think we've got a really neat place, and I feel my wife and I have to give my son Lewis some credit, as well as my wife Julie, has had a vision of the kind of music we like,
Yeah.
and we've been blessed that it sells pretty well. As far as, I think there's a real appreciation and a resurgence for that singer songwriter independent stuff, and we're
Absolutely.
just proud of what we developed, and glad to be turning the keys of the day-to-day worries over to Carson and Kaylin Kynell, that are the new owners right now. And we're excited for them and what the future will hold. And hopefully we can keep doing this part of it that we love
Absolutely.
dearly. And maybe we'll do some bigger events someday. We've got a big open field that we could do some larger things on occasion.
Okay.
So I'm not opposed to
Yeah.
considering that down the road. But yeah, the other thing, just wanted to touch on the rest of the schedule. If you want to touch on that, Matt, starting on August 1st, or you want
Oh,
me to?
yeah, I can do that. So August 1st. Yeah, see, I get sidetracked and I'm like, oh yeah, we didn't even finish that. So you got Dylan Doyle on August 1st.
Yes.
And then August 15th. Did I miss something when I put that together? Maybe was there something in between
That's
there or
right.
no?
Dylan Doyle is an East Coast musician out of New Jersey area that has played our place, I think, twice, and kind of got a real cool bluesy, kind of John Mayer-esque type sound. And the guy can really shred the guitar. And we're going to have an opener that maybe has not been announced yet, which is Blue Otis. And I don't know if you know who he is. Larry McCrae is a well-known Michigan blues artist out of Detroit,
Yep.
and Blue Boy.
Oh,
Um, so Blue and I think another guy are going to just do a duo opener for Dylan. And then August 15th, Brother Maven, Nashville, will be here. And Doug Henthorn who is a friend of mine from the Indianapolis area, is a blues musician, but he's going to come up and just do a solo opener set for Brother Maven. And then we close out the year, which has been, I think, the 5th consecutive year of closing out with Tom Petty tribute band, The Insiders.
Yeah.
And I I say this because I wasn't anything against cover bands, but these guys have to be the best cover band I've ever heard. They're some of the best musicians the state of Michigan has. Most of them are out of Grand Rapids, Lansing area, but they tell the story about Tom's life and what he was going through when he wrote different songs. And I'm no shit telling you this because this has been my line for years. If you turn your back to them, you'd think Tom was still alive. They're that good.
Wow.
And he even has just the mannerisms, and it's a neat educational experience for music lovers because we all know Tom Petty's music,
Yeah.
and these guys just kill it. And they do their own solo projects as well, but them as a Tom Petty tribute, if you haven't heard them before, go see them somewhere, and they play around Michigan quite a bit.
Okay. Yeah, I've not seen them before, but that's definitely good to know.
Yes.
So
So
real
other
quick,
than that-
Pete. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
no, I don't have anything. My wife's telling me I might have 2 more things I need to discuss.
Man, you got your own production manager right there. I like that. Tells you what you miss and everything. Matt never does that for me. I have to like come up on my own.
My wife did just want to remind people that it is not a BYOB type setting.
Right.
People cannot bring in their own coolers or anything of that such. And the chair, when on some of the smaller shows, we will allow chairs, but there'll be a $5 fee associated with bringing your own chair.
Yeah, I was gonna say I did see that on the website, which is coyotecrossingresort.com.
Yep.
And that's where the tickets are. And I did see that on some of the shows that there was add-ons like that for the chairs and stuff. So
Yeah.
anybody watching, you can go straight to their website, find all of that info for every show, in addition to tickets for all the shows as well. And Jesse, you were about to say something, so I'll go back to you if you remember it.
Yeah, if I remember it. Of course I remember. I remember all. I was just I was going through my calendar, Pete, here, and just seeing. So most of the time, you guys are doing Saturday shows, correct?
We try to do Saturdays. If it's somebody I really want to get, and the only way is a Friday or even a Thursday, I'll entertain that as well. But yes, we primarily are Saturday, but that is not carved in stone. And we're actually doing 2 Thursday night where we split an open mic with an artist doing a show halfway through. And Myron Elkins is going to be doing one of those on a Thursday night, and that's July 2nd. And another guy, Johnny Mullinax, is going to be doing a Thursday show along with our open mic. And Johnny is a national touring kind of bluegrass country type, but wails on the guitar. So I think that's late July. I don't have the date right in front of me for that one, but that'll be on our schedule. And do check out our Facebook page as well as the coyotecrossingresort.com. We have a music tab on our website, and everything, the dates and the ticket links will be there along with bios of the headliners.
Okay. And yeah, I was just double checking the schedule here, and I was just looking at Saturdays. So in August, between Dylan Doyle and Brothers Marvel,
Maven, Brother Maven.
Oh, sorry.
You're thinking Kendall Marvel and then mixing.
Yeah, I am. I'm so excited about that writers round. But you got the 8th and the 22nd open. Like, are you guys looking to book more artists? And if so, I know that like Matt and I, we talked about this right in the beginning. This podcast is kind of geared towards the outlaw, independent, up and comer artists that play venues such as yourself. So are you looking to book more artists? And if so, how do they contact you or the Coyote production, like, to get more artists to you guys?
We those dates right now, there is a possibility of a bigger national blowout show on the
Okay.
8th, but I doubt that that's going to
I was
happen.
gonna say, you got Matt's number. Are you gonna text him those details before everybody else, hopefully?
But as far as the dates go, we are full for this year. We've got some personal conflicts on some of those open weekends that my wife and I can't be there to orchestrate the night.
Yep.
So we're not choosing to.
So you want Matt and
book
I to orchestrate for you?
Well, I'll never say never. I think I'm looking forward to meeting you guys in person, and we can brainstorm a little bit.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to sit down with us so that we could talk to you and just kind of fill everybody in with what you guys are doing there and the music that you're bringing to the area. We absolutely love that. And so thank you for taking that time. Thanks to your wife for allowing you to sit down with us for the evening and keeping you in line, as well.
She definitely does that. She's kept the business going well for 15 years, and we're enjoying a little reprieve from that, and some time in Florida right now has been great.
Absolutely. Well,
we need her to come and help us out with the podcast a little bit.
Right.
Is she
can
we unretire her too?
She loves to tell people what to do.
Absolutely. So we will catch you guys next time on
Music Podcast.
Later.
But no, it's been a pleasure, guys. This was more enjoyable than I ever imagined. I've never done one of these, so I really appreciate you reaching out to